So, Beast Bob here with brotherhoodofbeast.com, ChristopherBobRoberts.com, and today I'm going to answer a question that I do not get asked very often, but it does come up quite regularly, and that is how a skinny guy can gain weight, okay? And if you pay attention to what I say, you're going to notice that these guidelines are basically the same guidelines I would give to a person who's overweight and has to lose weight. We're just coming at it from a slightly different angle because we obviously want different results. Now, first of all, if you say, I can't gain weight because I have a fast metabolism, I'm going to call just as much bullshit as if someone says, I can't lose weight because I have a slow metabolism. If I were to take a person who says they cannot lose weight no matter what they do, put them in a cage, and 4 times a day, I would just slide like a chicken breast, a leaf of lettuce, and a glass of water through the bars, and they were on like barely no calories, like way less than 1,000 calories a day, they would lose weight. They would lose weight. They would burn all their fat. They'd burn all their muscle, and they would eventually starve to death. Okay. So if you say that you cannot lose weight or you cannot gain weight, you are absolutely lying to yourself. And the same thing goes for a person who says, I cannot gain weight. If I were to take like a glass of heavy cream with like 50 grams of sugar mixed into it, okay? A cup of heavy cream is about 800 calories. 50 grams of sugar is about 200 calories. That's 1,000 calories there. If I were to stir that up, give it to you, and force you to drink it, and I were to do that 8 times a day, and you were taking in 8,000 calories a day, I guarantee you would gain weight, okay? So first of all, stop saying I can't, okay? Fine, I don't understand, or I'm having a hard time, or it's difficult for me, but don't say I can't. Okay? Because first of all, you're telling yourself that you're a victim. You're telling yourself that it's impossible. And you're telling me that you're trying to lie to me. Okay? And instead of asking for help, you just want my sympathy. I have no sympathy for anybody. If you want help, I'll help you, but I ain't going to give you no sympathy. So it's bullshit if you say you cannot gain weight. Just like it's bullshit if you say you cannot lose weight. All right, so the next thing is you need to actually train your muscles to grow your muscles. Like I said, if I just gave you 8,000 calories a day, you would absolutely positively gain weight on the scale. Now the question is, how much of that weight will be muscle and how much of that weight will be fat? Okay, the calories that you consume are the building materials you use to make muscle. So imagine if you have like this work site and I just start delivering wood and all kinds of building materials and there's no workers there, okay? That's exactly what you're going to have if you start consuming more calories and gaining weight, but you're not training, okay? You need the workers to actually take the building materials and build a house out of them, okay? So it's the same thing here. Like if you're not stimulating your muscles to grow bigger and stronger, you will absolutely positively gain weight, but it will be almost all fat. Then, if you stimulate your muscles and eat the calories you need to recover and grow stronger, now you're going to start gaining weight, and a lot of it's going to be muscle, okay? So, number one, you just need to eat more, okay? If you're not gaining weight on the scale, even if it's fat, you're not eating enough. And number two, you need to actually stimulate your muscles to grow, okay, in order to start building muscle and not just gain slop weight on the scale. You need to make sure that you are getting in the proper nutrients, okay? Like I said, if you took in 8,000 calories a day of liquid heavy cream and sugar, you would absolutely positively gain weight. However, you need nutrients, okay, in order to actually build muscle. Because if you take in just fat and carbs and no protein, you're not going to build muscle because muscle is literally made out of protein, okay? So you need to take in protein. How much? I usually have people starting off with 1.5 grams of protein for every pound of body weight they want to have, okay, what your current goal body weight is. Now, a lot of people say that's too much, but everyone agrees you need at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, how do you get in enough protein in your diet? Because I have a whole bunch of people who say that too. They're like, I can't eat enough protein. I'm not hungry for protein. And that really, it used to like boil my blood because I was trying to help these people. These days, once again, if you're going to lie to yourself and try to lie to me, you need to do that somewhere else, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, you can eat protein, you just don't. What happens with these people is they wake up in the morning and they have some breakfast cereal and or a donut, and then they go to lunch and they have like a Starbucks coffee and like, some muffins, and then for dinner they have like some spaghetti, and then they sit on the sofa and start watching Netflix and have some potato chips and like, oh my god, I'm not hungry and I haven't eaten any protein. The way to get your protein in is to eat protein. Period. Boom. Dead animal on your plate. Okay? Meat, eggs, dairy on your plate. Nothing else. Absolutely positively nothing else but protein until you've gotten enough protein for that meal. Okay? Figure out how many grams of protein you want over the day, how many meals you're going to take in, and every meal should have that proportion. So if you want 200 grams of protein a day and you're having 4 meals a day, well, each meal has to have 50 grams of protein. Put that on your plate before anything else. Okay? So let's say, for instance, 200 grams of chicken breast, raw weight, is about 47 grams of protein. Okay? It's 0 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fat, 220 calories, but it's literally basically nothing but 50 grams of protein. Do that 4 times a day and you're going to get your protein in. Okay? Do that 4 times a day and don't eat your donuts and your biscuits and your 10 bowls of rice and suck down your soda and have your cookies. Okay? Just have that and you will get in your 200 grams of protein if that's your goal and you're having 4 meals a day. Now, you cannot live on protein alone. Okay? Even if you're on a ketogenic diet, you need to make sure that you get at least fat, okay, or fat and carbs if you're on a diet that includes carbs. But the fact is, you need to start every meal off with the amount of protein you need for that meal. How do you do this? Like I said, if you're doing keto, instead of having just chicken breast, you can go ahead and throw some cheese on top of that. You can go ahead and add some nuts to it. You could go from chicken breast to ground beef, some kind of red meat, to a fattier cut of red meat, okay, for instance. Or, like I said, if you're doing carbs, you could have your chicken, and then you can go ahead and throw on some rice or some potatoes or whatever you want to add for that for your carbs. But you don't need a goddamn thing, okay, until you get in your protein for that meal, okay? So like I said, that's the way that this will work. If you just eat, I guarantee you that if I just give you 4 chicken breasts a day, okay, to get your 200 grams of protein, and if that's your goal, that you will just scarf them down because you'll be starving. Okay, you will 100% eat all of those 4 chicken breasts. You will get your protein in. And then, like I said, you'll still be starving. So if I add in some rice or some potatoes or some fat source or whatever, you'll consume that too because you need the calories. But you need to start with protein, okay? In little baby boy words, you come home from school and you play video games and you go out with your friends and you watch TV and you do this, you do that, and it's 10 o'clock at night and you haven't done your homework yet. The way you do your homework is you come home from school and you do your homework and then you fuck off. Okay? It's the same thing here. Eat your protein, then eat other nutrients. That's how you get your protein in. All right, here's another thing that's going to be very important for people, whether they want to gain weight or they want to lose weight. The more you train, the more calories you need. The better you train, the better calories you need. For instance, when you start training, okay, all you really need to do is make sure you get in enough calories and you get in enough protein. That's all you really got to do. You're not going to reach some superhuman level with that. You're not going to reach the pinnacle of fitness. You're not going to reach the pinnacle of body composition, like body fat compared to muscle mass, okay? You're not going to get to the top of anything by that, but that will get the scale moving upward. That will get you stronger. That will get you building muscle. Now, the thing is, if you want to really dial in, you need to make sure that you get everything that you need. For instance, when I got really big and really strong, okay, all I did was like weighted dips and weighted pull-ups Monday and Thursday, squats and trap bar deadlifts Tuesday and Friday, and I did weighted abs on Wednesday and Saturday. That's all I did. I did an hour walk a day for some kind of cardio just to get out of the house, okay? But that's all I did. What did I need? I needed a lot of protein and I needed a lot of calories. So I was on a ketogenic diet. I was eating basically 6 times a day, lots of protein in each meal, and I was adding in fat as I needed calories, okay? What I'm doing right now is some crazy, insane workout where it includes high intensity, like plyometric intervals, burpee intervals, jump rope intervals, bag work in a Thai boxing gym, etc., where it's like really high intensity cardio. Okay, that's my cardio 6 days a week. Then 3 days a week, I go ahead and I do some body weight calisthenics for strength training. Now, I obviously am burning a lot of calories, so I need a lot of calories to go ahead and fuel these workouts and fuel my recovery. Because I'm doing such high intensity cardio, because I'm doing the high intensity bag work, I need to make sure that I have lean protein and I get in my carbohydrates right before and after those workouts. I need to make sure I'm getting in definitely not just water, but since I'm sweating so much, more water. Plus, I need to make sure my electrolytes are on point, okay? Because I'm doing this explosive work, I need my creatine, which helps fuel those explosive workouts, okay? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're starting out and you're not doing a whole lot, you don't need a whole lot of calories. And the calories, the consistency of the calories doesn't really matter. Just get the calories and get the protein. But like I said, when I first started doing these workouts, I was having some issues because I wasn't getting enough electrolytes. I was drinking water, flushing potassium and sodium and et cetera out of my body when I sweat, and I was drinking clean water and I wasn't doing as well as I should. So I started adding in calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium into like supplement form, into the water I was drinking. And now I'm able to do this. Like I said, so the bottom line is the more you work out, the more you need to eat in terms of calories. The more specific that your workouts are, the more specific that your diet has to be. And the next thing is you have to be consistent, because just like you get guys who can't lose weight, they're like, oh, I went a day and I just fasted. Great. What did you do the day after that? I had 3 cases of beer and 15 pizzas. Well, that's wonderful. Okay. That's really wonderful that you did that. Or on the flip side, because we're talking about people who can't gain weight, yesterday I had a whole pizza. Well, that's rubbish calories, but fine. Great. You had a whole pizza yesterday. What did you eat the rest of the day? Nothing. All right. What did you eat today? Nothing. But you had a whole pizza in one sitting. That's wonderful. Okay. Another thing is a lot of people who actually do really well, very regimented Monday through Friday, screw themselves on the weekends. For instance, you're on a strict diet to lose weight all week. You're doing really great. The scale's going down Saturday and Sunday. You eat whatever the fuck you want. You drink whatever the fuck you want. You take in so many calories that not only is the caloric deficit from the entire week taken care of, but you've actually gained weight because you took in more than your deficit. So you're actually over the 7 days, actually in a caloric surplus because you said YOLO, aka fuck it, aka fuck yourself on the weekends. The same thing happens to a lot of people who are trying to gain weight. During the week, they'll be getting in their meals, they'll be getting in their workouts, and on the weekends, they'll just wake up and they'll sleep late. So, 3-4 hours go, that's a couple meals that you should have had that you just didn't have. And then they didn't work out. So, whatever, they don't really have a structure. Well, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to have some whatever for breakfast at Starbucks and, maybe like a Slurpee or something. And next thing you know, Saturday and Sunday, they don't get in enough calories. They don't get in enough protein. They don't get in whatever supplements. I mean, creatine doesn't work like a cup of coffee where you drink it and you feel great and you have energy. You have to take it and it builds up levels in your body, okay? And then you can actually go ahead and benefit from the creatine you take. So if you go like 5 days and on the weekend, no protein, no calories, no supplements, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, well, guess what? You're screwing yourself just as much as the guy who goes 5 days in a caloric deficit and then gorges himself on the weekends. You have to be consistent all day, every day, including the days you don't work out, including the weekends. And in closing, I'm going to give my best advice to the people who don't want to eat this much. For instance, I read a blog post years ago by a guy who was talking about something similar. It was his advice, which is different from mine. But basically, he talked a lot about how you just got to eat. He was a big bodybuilder, and guy asked, how do I go ahead and do this? And someone in the comments actually said, well, how can I do it if I don't want to eat that much? Like I don't want to eat that much, especially for the rest of my life. And he actually left a smiley. Smile. He just got done telling you want to gain weight, you got to eat more food. Boom. Period. You got to do it. And this guy's like, hey, thanks for telling me how to do this, but how do I do this without doing anything you told me to do? It's just the same thing like someone saying, hey, I want to have 5 cases of beer and 12 pizzas a day. How do I lose weight? Oh, let's see. You want to drink beer and suck down pizza all day and never move your ass from the sofa, and you want to have the body of Adonis. How do you do it? Well, you fucking give the goddamn idea up, okay? If someone were to say, hey, I'm going to drop out of high school. I'm never going to go to college. How do I become a lawyer? How do I become a doctor? People would say like, okay, well, first of all, you don't, okay? You would never entertain the question of like, how do I fucking become a doctor if I drop out of high school, don't go to college, don't go to fucking law school, don't go to medical school, don't do my internship? Like, how do I become a doctor or a lawyer if I just drop out of high school and don't do shit with my life? You don't. You don't. You admit to yourself you don't want it. You admit to yourself you're not willing to do what it takes. And that's the reason why there are so few doctors, there are so few lawyers. The same thing here. Why are there so few people who have six packs and a little bit of visible muscle? Because most people are not willing to eat and train in a way that will produce those results. But like I said, unlike someone who wants to know how to become a doctor or a lawyer if he's just going to drop out of high school and never do shit with his life because it's a fucking ridiculous question, people get mad when you get mad when you're asked this fucking question. You don't. Okay? If you want it, you will put the work in. If it's worth it for you, it will be worth the work. Okay? And if you just want to sit in your ass like a fucking fat ass and not do shit and eat crap all day, you're going to be fat. If you want to sit in front of the fucking computer and fucking drink soda and have like a couple pretzels or a fucking donut, like 500 fucking calories a day of pure sugar, and you want to know why you're sickly and why you're fucking scrawny, that's the fucking reason. Fat people eat like fat people. Fat people move like fat people. Skinny people move like skinny people. Skinny people eat like skinny people. And guys who are jacked and tan, shaved and shredded have the habits, the eating habits, the exercise habits, the lifestyle habits, the recovery habits of people who are jacked and tan, shaved and shredded. So if you want to lose weight or if you want to gain weight, you need to shed all the fucking bullshit you've got in your head. You need to discard your entire fucking lifestyle, probably your fucking friends, and you need to become that guy who is jacked and tan, shaved and shredded. And like I said, it's going to mean that you're going to have to change your life. No more staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games, drinking soda. Okay? Or if you're overweight, no more staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning drinking beer and eating pizza. It ain't going to happen. Okay? You need your sleep. You need your proper nutrients in the proper amounts, proper amount of calories, and you need proper training. And like I said, if you're not willing to do that, that's fine. It doesn't make you a bad person, but it just does mean you need to admit to yourself, I have a choice. I can either live in a way that will get me jacked and shaved and shredded, or I can live in a way that will have me overweight, underweight, whatever. And if you're not willing to do that, then you just don't want it enough. So, like I said, I, for instance, have no desire to go to years of school to become a doctor or a lawyer. I'm not going to ask somebody how I could become a doctor or a lawyer without going to school. I'm just going to say, hey, that's how you do it. It's not that important to me. I really don't care that much about being a doctor or a lawyer. So there's no way in hell I'm going to dedicate years of my life to doing this. And that's the reason why I am not a doctor or a lawyer, because I don't care. It's not important enough to me. I'm not willing to do the work that it takes. And like it or not, it's the same thing here. Either you put the work in and you live the lifestyle and you get the results, or you admit that it's not that important to you and you just come to terms with the fact that you're going to be overweight or underweight fat or skinny, whatever, for the rest of your life until you make changes. Anyway, you guys, you need to check out brotherhoodofbeast.com. It is my group coaching program. It has all of my courses I use to lose weight, to gain weight. The course for the workout that I'm on right now, where I'm doing killer cardio, killer combatives training, and I'm doing killer body weight calisthenics training. Got all my diets in there. It's got a group community where everybody can go ahead and ask their questions and I'll answer them. And once a week, I get on a Zoom call with you guys where you could actually look me in the face and ask me your questions, and I will give you an answer right there in real time. brotherhoodofbeast.com. Go ahead and check it out. And if you sign up for a year in advance, you'll get a month of VIP one-on-one training to start you off. Check it out. Links down below. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Keep the questions coming. I will keep answering them in videos like this. And aside from that, see you guys in the next video.